You know me, SDMT. Big story right here, man. I get a lot of questions about this, so let's answer it or do our best to answer this question. Are the Steelers better without Le'Veon Bell? It's a good question. It's kind of crazy. You know, it's controversial with everything that's going on. Le'Veon sitting out the season. But let's dive into it, man. The Steelers are kicking butt right now. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They're getting it done. Big Ben is lighting it up, coming off a 5 TD game. Antonio Brown is looking like Antonio Brown again. That defense is making plays. Juju is a star, man. The Steelers look dangerous right now, and it's pretty damn awesome. The big thing is they got balance. James Conner has been getting it done on this 5-game winning streak. In this 5-game winning streak, 4 to 5 games, he's had over 100 yards rushing. That's awesome right there. He's also scored in every game, and he's had 3 games of multiple rushing touchdowns. That's huge right there. He is killing it, averaging 107 yards per game. So he's giving the Steelers that rushing game that they need to give them balance, and that's the major thing. No matter who their running back is, as long as they can be consistent and a force and give that team balance and not put all that pressure on Big Ben, that can help that team win games. Now, when we look at it, James Conner has 5 100-yard rushing games this year. Le'Veon Bell only had 4 last year. So you look at that, James Conner's only played in 10 games so far, okay? Over that 10 games, James Conner also has 11 touchdowns, okay? Le'Veon Bell had 11 touchdowns all of last year. So when we look at it, James Conner's getting it done, man. He's definitely a Pro Bowl candidate. He will get my vote. He's an inspiring player. He works hard. He's tough. He's solid for those hard yards. And he's been affecting the game also in the passing game and receiving the ball, which a lot of people didn't expect him to be so successful at being a pass catcher, and he's done pretty well. Now, I'm not going to say he's better than Le'Veon. Le'Veon had 85 catches, and he's definitely, I would say, a better receiving threat than James Conner. But the great thing about James Conner is he's getting better every game, and he's going to keep improving. He is coming off concussion, and Mike Tomlin is very optimistic that he'll be able to play this next game. So the Steelers are lucky to have him. But the Steelers and that team, they're hot right now because they have that running game, and James Conner is getting it done. So are they better without Le'Veon? If they had Le'Veon, they might have a 2-headed monster, and that would be the best backfield in the league. But they don't. They have James Conner, and James Conner is a monster right now, getting in that end zone and getting those tough yards. So when we look at the Steelers, that's exactly what they need, is they try to push for that playoff spot and try to compete with the Patriots, Chiefs, and all those other solid teams. So when we look at it, we look at Le'Veon Bell and what he brings to the game, a very dynamic, explosive player. I would say Le'Veon Bell is more dynamic and more explosive. He has more highlight reel runs. You know what I mean? He just has that just game breaker ability. James Conner has game breaker ability also, but he's a grinder. He's strong. He's going to pound you out. He's been getting more patient with his running style as well, and he's a strong man. He's very powerful when he runs that rock, and you can see when he runs it, man. So it's pretty awesome. Le'Veon Bell also posted in his story that he voted for James Conner to be in the Pro Bowl. James Conner has over 700 yards so far, 770, and he has 11 touchdowns. So he's on pace to go over 1,000 yards, and he might end up with, 15, 16 touchdowns. That's huge right there, man. I've been a James Conner fan going way back to Pitt, you know what I mean? I followed them because I'm crazy about running backs. So you go to Pitt, they had Shady McCoy, they had Deion Lewis, then they had Conner, and Conner was a force. And then, he had the cancer situation that kind of knocked him out, but then he came back. He's such an inspiring story. But when he got drafted, you can go back to my Instagram, I wasn't really happy that he went to the Steelers because I believed he was a starter. I really believed he was a starter back then, and he went to the Steelers, and I'm like, damn, he's not going to get to play because he's with the best running back in the league at that time, Le'Veon Bell. But maybe the Steelers knew something was going to happen, and they selected James Conner, which was huge, and now they have this star running back in the making. So what do you think? Are the Steelers better without Le'Veon Bell? Is James Conner killing it, which we all know he is, and can he consistently do this, though? That's the scary thing. We've seen Le'Veon consistently, get it done. and have that body of work. But can James Conner consistently get it done? And that's going to be the question that only he can answer and those Steelers can answer over the future games and in the future seasons. Hopefully so. I'm a big fan of his, and I'm a fan of Le'Veon and James Conner. You can be a fan of both. And I think Le'Veon's going to end up on a team. He's going to kill it next year. And I think James Conner is going to be that man that's going to take the Steelers' rushing attack for the next several years and be that man until he wants to get paid, and then hopefully those Steelers fans don't switch up on him. But drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on my notifications, and follow me on Instagram at SDMT619. SDMT!